All right, we're going no edits today. That was ridiculous. Nonsense from Las Palmas. They barely played any football after the 70th minute. Fair play to them, I guess. I don't know. They had six subs because Balde went out, so we got six subs. It was a wild game. I don't think it was our best outing. I think they played very well. I think they did what they needed to do. They were incredibly clinical with the few chances they had. And we didn't finish ours. I don't think we had great chances, but we had enough that you would expect this team with the way they've been finishing to win. They definitely had enough chances. There was the referee. I think I think he lost control of the game. Literally, Las Palmas spent half the match on the floor. They did not move after the 73rd minute, and okay, that's something that happens in football, but you need to start penalizing them or making them feel like there are repercussions to lying on the ground for an hour and a half. There was a reason there was 8 added minutes on. There genuinely could have been more because the guys spent so much time on the pitch, but the ref did not give a single yellow card. Even though Barcelona kept getting butchered by them, they kept fouling them in dangerous positions. They were fouled outside the box like four times in the last 30 minutes of this game. Not a single yellow card was shown, which is wild to me. Wild that none of that happened. And I'm not saying Barca deserved to win. I think we definitely deserved points, and I think Las Palmas played well. I think they finished their chances, and then when that happens, it's difficult to come back from that sometimes. But seriously, they should have gotten points. They should have finished their chances better. But also, I think the referee missed a couple pen calls as well. I think there was one on Kubarsi where he was definitely stepped on. He was bleeding from his ankle. It was a little more like, I don't know if that's as clear, but then Pau Victor was pulled away from the ball when he was very clearly like 6 inches from the header. I think that's too close to not look at. It didn't look like the ref looked at it at all, which is ridiculous to me. I think it's genuinely ridiculous that they would do that. And whatever. The ref, sometimes that's not going to go our way. The team needs to finish and needs to be better than they were today because they definitely weren't great from the jump. And, some of the circumstances didn't necessarily play into our favor, and we'll get into that. But also, it keys me in on something that could be a little telling moving forward, that teams might be responding well to, or responding better to Hansi Flick's tactics. Maybe they're finding something out, they're realizing something, or Barcelona just aren't finishing their chances as well as they were before, which I would lean more on to the latter. But hell, we'll get into our ratings and move from there. Starting off, Iñaki Peña was fine. He came out of his box once, but he did concede 2 goals. He was one-on-one with them. He didn't really have much of a chance, honestly, in both of those circumstances. You could call into question his positioning for Sandro's goal. He was a little too close to his near post. I don't know. I'm not a goalie. I'm not going to call him out for that 5.5 just because he didn't really do anything great either. The back line, though, I think they were okay. I think Las Palmas just did a pretty good job of getting in behind them. Koundé wasn't great. He had a lot of responsibilities going forward. Didn't do a ton defensively. Didn't really need to necessarily because he was pretty far forward. But I'm going to give him just like a 6 as well. He got taken off for Hector Fort later on in the match, and I probably would say that Koundé didn't need to start. But also, if Koundé was in this game, I don't think Hector Fort gets exposed for the Fabio Silva's goal, and I think it was partially Hector Fort's fault. I don't think Koundé gets exposed in the same way. Whatever. Kubarsi, I think he was better. He did get a bloody ankle and then was taken off. I think he's fine. Nice voice crack there. I'll give him a 6. I think he was better than Koundé. Not wonderful, but fine in a difficult game where Las Palmas made it very hard to be good on the ball and to get the ball up the pitch at all. They pressed pretty well. They made it difficult for these guys to have any time on the ball with the exception of Pedri, or Pedri just found a way out of everything because he's so good at this game. Inigo was solid. He was fine. He got beat by Sandro really early in the beginning, but besides that, I think he was pretty solid, controlled possession a little bit, and helped us win the ball back when we needed to. They didn't hold the high line as well. I don't necessarily think it's their fault, or Las Palmas just responded well. They have a lot of pace. They were able to solve problems very well. I'll give them a 6 as well, but just because the back line, I don't think they were fantastic today. I don't know if they deserve more than that. But Balde, I thought he was okay. And, we didn't see a ton from him, but I think he looked pretty good in the first 20 minutes before he got hit in the throat. Turns out he's fine, but if you guys didn't watch, he ran into, or Sandro backed into him a little bit. I think it was a little bit of both of that, but he got hit in the trachea and he was coughing a lot. It looked like I thought he broke a rib for a second. He was coughing so much, but it turns out he's okay. or he should be okay soon. I'm not worried about him, but he had to get taken off. So Gerard Martin came in, who was meh. I think he was fine. I don't know. He had a lot of going forward responsibilities, a lot of attacking responsibilities, and he's not good at that. That's not really what he's great at. He showed it again today. I don't know if he was great defensively. He was just kind of there, which sucks because he was also had a lot of responsibility over there. Like there was no support around him at the end of the game there in the last 15 minutes where we were trying to create something. He had no support on the left at all. And that's problematic when you're not a great attacking left wing back. If you're Grimaldo, that might be okay. For Gerard Martin, it's not okay. So we really got to fix that moving forward. Gavi, I think he was fine. I think he was like unremarkable. I think this was his better game that we've seen from him so far, and he looks like he's warming into it a little bit, but not incredible. I'm going to give him a 7 just because it was solid. He didn't really make any mistakes, won the ball back a few times, made a few good forward runs too that I think helped the team in a very tough first half. Pedri, the light of my life, awesome, really good today, trying to create something in this team, especially in the first half when there was no chemistry up front from these guys at all. I think he looked pretty good. I'm going to give him an 8. It wasn't his best performance, but I think he looked good in a time where Las Palmas pressed well and made it very difficult for these guys to have any time on the ball. You saw when Frankie de Jong came in, he struggled to even get any space, but Pedri was dribbling around guys, creating space for himself, doing very well. The forward line, though, from the start was just they were all over the place, man. No chemistry at all. And you kind of get that with Fermin Lopez and Pablo Torre up there, without Dani Olmo, without Pedri up front. There's going to be a little bit of loss of that chemistry that they've been building all season because these guys haven't played a ton. But I think Fermin and Pablo Torre were both equally like mid, tried to come into the game a little bit. Fermin forced a little bit. Pablo Torre forced a little bit as well. I think Pablo Torre was probably a little bit better, but overall they just weren't clicking the way they need to. I'll give them 6s, same as the back line, just because I don't think they were great. Rafinha, they created the intensity going forward at the end, helped push this team forward, almost scored a free kick, and scored a really good goal outside of the box to bring us back in the match. Unfortunately, we conceded 6 minutes after we scored, so all of that momentum was taken away. But I'm going to give him an 8.5, and my man of the match for our side. I think he was really good. If that free kick went in, that would have been great, but Cillessen was cheating. It was pretty obvious he was going to go to the near post. I wish he would have done something else with the second free kick that he had just a few minutes later, but it is what it is. I think he did better in the second half. Again, in the first half, I don't think he was good. I think the whole front line was all over the place. Everyone was forcing it. They were all playing to the beat of their own drum. There was no togetherness about it. I think they found it in the second half, but it was a little bit too late. And when they did find it, Las Palmas came back immediately, and it was just all taken away from them. Or it felt that way to me, at least. I don't know. Lewandowski, I think he was off it today, too. He had a few chances where he took a few too many touches, or the pass was just away from his feet or behind him in unfortunate circumstances. I'll give him a 7, because I think I'll give him a 6.5. I don't think he was great either. I think it was just, it was a tough match. I don't think anyone was spectacular in the first half especially, but I don't think Lewandowski was good. There was one chance where he really should have been quicker with it on the break right at the end, and that could have brought the tie level, but it didn't work out, and neither did he. And the subs, man, were unimpressive. Martin, I'll give him a 6 as well. I'll give him a 6. Yeah, I think he had a ton of responsibility on the left side, and it's not fair for him to receive that. I don't think it's a fair showing of his abilities. But he wasn't great. Whatever. Lamine Yamal, it was his first game back. That final pass was off for him too, which is new. We don't really see that very often from him, but because he hasn't played in so long, he looked like the other guys in not having that final pass, which is something that Fermin and Pablo Torre and Lewandowski had in that first half, really obviously. But Lamine had a few really good opportunities, a few shots on goal that didn't come out. Obviously, he's going to be a little rusty. I'm okay with that, but I think he looks promising. And it's good to see him slowly getting back into the field of the game. It's unfortunate it happened in this game, but I think he did look pretty good when he did get a decent chance. I'll give him a 7 because of that. Hector Fort, man, I think he did okay. I really think he's responsible for the second goal. He was behind his man. It was ball in behind. He was behind Fabio Silva, so he was holding him onside, but Fabio Silva got around him because I don't know how it happened necessarily, but Hector Fort got behind him, And then Fabio Silva got behind him, and it was hard to recover from that position. Fabio Silva is pacey and put a good finish on the ball, and he couldn't really do anything about that. Unfortunate. I'll give him a 6 because of that. But yeah, it wasn't incredible going forward either. Frankie, similar story, wasn't incredible. I don't think he was bad, and I also think Las Palmas made it very difficult for him. They're talking about how he's just not up to 100%, but I don't know. I'll give him a 6 as well. I think 6s across the board is probably fair. I thought Ferran Torres was good. I thought Ferran Torres was pretty good. I think he looks pretty promising. Final ball was okay at times. It was worse at others, but there was like some moments where he looked really good and he linked up pretty well. I'm going to give him a 7 because of that. And I'm excited to kind of see him more, which I didn't think I was going to say, but he actually looked decent today, which is good. Pau Victor, all I remember of him doing anything was that run in behind where he got pulled back and they didn't even look at it. Good running behind, bro. I don't know. I'm not even going to rate him. He was on for 2 seconds. But overall, it's an unfortunate match, man. I think the team played okay. They didn't play great. This was not a connected performance for most of the game. They did not finish well. They didn't even create the greatest of chances, but they still, according to SofaScore, created, 2.3 XG? Oh my God, that's so much more than I thought. And a lot of it came right at the end of the second half. 1.36 of that is from the second half. So, unfortunate. I think that they didn't finish their chances better, but that's going to happen. I also don't think this is the end of the world like the other games were. I think if Madrid win out their next 2 games, they will be ahead of us by 2 points in the league. Yeah, they will. But Madrid have been in bad form, and I don't think the league is set in stone at all, considering that no one has been playing well, Atleti or Real. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. I think this is unfortunate because it's going to make it difficult. It's going to make it go down to the line more than we would have hoped, especially if we want to challenge in the Champions League and the Supercopa and the Copa del Rey. With all of those competitions going on and them all really neck and neck, it's going to be hard. But it is what it is sometimes. Overall, it wasn't the best lineup put out there. Potentially some signs that Hansi Flick's plans are being found out. I also just think the team didn't finish their chances well. I really think that was the big difference here compared to normal games, where if Lewandowski's on better, Firmino is on better in that first half, and Lamine is in form, this game is 3-2, 4-2, 5-2 even. That's the difference. This team has been finishing their chances off really well, even when they're difficult. That's how they beat Bayern and Madrid. I don't think they created spectacular chances in either one of those games, but they're finishing chances like crazy now. And that's what we need from them in difficult games like this. And that's saying something against Las Palmas, who's like 14th in the league or something. Yeah, 14th in the league after today's match. They were in the relegation zone before it. So it's tough. But whatever, moving forward. Hopefully Madrid drop points tomorrow. If not, it is what it is. I still think we're okay. Calma. Moving forward, it is the 125th anniversary. So it's unfortunate that we drop points today, but it's okay. We'll move forward. Visca Barça, Visca Catalunya, thank you guys for watching. I am very thankful for you being here. It was Thanksgiving in the United States. So if you are, happy Thanksgiving. But I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.